NASA has just broken its silence, and what they revealed has set the entire astronomical community on fire. In a move that is almost unprecedented in the history of space exploration, the agency confirmed via a massive data release that they haven't just found a new comet. They have mobilized a fleet to watch it. We are talking about the newly discovered object 3I ATLAS, usually. A discovery gets a single press release and a telescope assignment, but this time, NASA coordinated 8 different spacecraft, satellites, and high-powered telescopes to observe this object simultaneously, from the James Webb Space Telescope to Hubble and the ground-based Atlas survey. Every major lens was pointed at the same dark corner of space to capture what is officially the third interstellar visitor to our solar system. Why the urgency? Why did NASA feel the need to capture this object from 8 different angles? The 3I in its name tells you everything you need to know. It stands for the third interstellar object. Unlike the asteroids and comets that have orbited our sun for billions of years, 3I Atlas is an intruder. It came from another star system, traveled through the void of deep space, and is now cutting across our neighborhood with a trajectory and speed that defies the logic of our local gravity. The images and data coming back from this coordinated effort are not just beautiful, they are baffling. They show an object that doesn't look or behave like the frozen rocks we are used to. We are looking at an anomaly, a traveler from the unknown. And today we are going to analyze exactly what these 8 spacecraft saw and why this discovery might rewrite our understanding of what is out there. To understand the magnitude of what is happening right now, you have to look at the list of assets NASA just activated. This wasn't a random observation. It was a coordinated ambush. The report confirms that the James Webb Space Telescope was used to analyze the object's heat signature in infrared, while the Hubble telescope captured high-resolution visible light images to determine its shape. But here is where it gets truly unprecedented. NASA didn't just use telescopes near Earth. They utilized the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and the MAVEN spacecraft, which are currently orbiting Mars, to get a side view of the object as it passed the red planet. They even commanded the Perseverance rover, yes, the robot currently driving on the surface of Mars, to look up and snap a picture from the ground. Add to that the Solar Observatory's Stereo and SOHO and the asteroid-hunting spacecraft Lucy, and you have a total of 8 distinct mechanical eyes staring at 3I Atlas from every possible angle of the solar system. So, what did this billion-dollar fleet actually see? This is where the story shifts from scientific discovery to scientific mystery. The images released today show that 3I ATLAS is not behaving like a normal comet. First, there is the issue of its brightness. As it approached the sun, it flared up with an intensity that baffled models, glowing with a strange blue-green hue that suggests a chemical composition we rarely see. The James Webb data revealed a shocking ratio of carbon dioxide to water 8 times higher than any comet native to our system, and, even more bizarre, the presence of gaseous nickel attempting to escape the nucleus, but without the usual iron that always accompanies it. It's like finding a skeleton without bones, but the detail that has the internet continuously buzzing is the anti-tail in several of the leaked frames. While a normal dust tail flows away from the sun, 3I ATLAS appears to have a secondary sharp spike pointing directly toward the sun. Astronomers call this an optical illusion, a trick of perspective. But when you combine it with the object's non-gravitational acceleration, meaning it is speeding up slightly more than gravity alone should allow the illusion, explanation starts to feel thin. Is it outgassing? Is it evaporating? Or, as Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb has famously suggested with previous visitors, could that tail actually be exhaust? The data from these 8 spacecraft has given us more questions than answers, and now we have to talk about the most controversial part of the NASA report, the radio signal. If the visual anomalies weren't enough to keep you awake at night, what happened next surely will. As the fleet of spacecraft tracked 3I ATLAS, the scientific community split into 2 camps. On one side, you have NASA's official stance, it's a weird comet. On the other side, you have the heavyweights of theoretical physics, led by the former chair of astronomy at Harvard, Dr. Avi Loeb. He looked at the data, specifically the object's non-gravitational acceleration, and asked a simple question: why is it speeding up? Comets speed up because they burn off gas, acting like a rocket thruster. But remember what the James Webb Telescope found. 3.1. ATLAS has almost no visible dust tail. It's accelerating without a visible engine. Loeb suggests that this matches the profile of a light sail, a piece of artificial technology pushing itself forward using the pressure of sunlight. Just like a ship uses wind. And then came the moment that nearly broke the internet. On October 29th, just as ATLAS reached its closest point to the Sun, the Meerkat radio telescope in South Africa detected a signal. It wasn't a random burst of static. It was a distinct, sharp radio emission coming directly from the object. For exactly 12 minutes, Atlas was loud. Social media immediately caught fire with claims that the object was phoning home or scanning our defenses. Now, we have to be fair, NASA has an explanation. They released a statement yesterday claiming the signal was caused by hydroxyl radicals, molecules created when solar radiation breaks down water. They say it's a natural process, a song sung by chemistry, not by aliens. But here is the catch: the signal frequency was incredibly narrow, and it pulsed in a way that some independent researchers claim is too clean for a dirty snowball breaking apart. If it really is just ice melting, it is doing so in a way we have never recorded before. So, we are left with a choice. Do we believe the official report that dismisses this as a chemical reaction? Or do we listen to the whispers that perhaps, just perhaps, we are trying to rationalize something we are too afraid to accept? To truly understand why NASA is panicking, we have to look at the history book of interstellar visitors. Until today, we had only seen two. The first was Oumuamua in 2017. We called it the Scout. It was a dark, reddish, cigar-shaped object that tumbled through space. It had no tail, no gas, and it was completely silent, but it moved in a way that gravity couldn't explain. Then came 2019, and we found Borisov. We called it the Tourist. It was boring. It looked exactly like a normal comet, acted like a normal comet, and disintegrated like a normal comet. It was nature doing what nature does, but 3I, ATLAS. 3I is the monster that combines the worst fears of both. It has the non-gravitational acceleration of Oumuamua, meaning it is pushing itself, but unlike Oumuamua, it is active. It is glowing. It is screaming in radio frequencies. Oumuamua was a dead shard. Borisov was a dirty snowball. But 3I, Atlas looks like a functioning system. Think about the data we just discussed. Oumuamua didn't have a tail, yet it accelerated. Scientists said, maybe it's outgassing hydrogen we can't see. Fine, but 3I, Atlas has a tail, yet the tail is pointing the wrong way towards the sun. It's behaving like it is fighting against the solar wind rather than riding it. If Oumuamua was a derelict ship drifting by, and Borisov was a random rock, then 3I, ATLAS behaves like a probe that is currently online. It is correcting its course. It is reacting to our sun, and the fact that it released a burst of nickel gas without iron, something neither of the previous did, suggests a refined, manufactured composition, not a natural geological one. We aren't just looking at a third rock from the stars. We are looking at the first one that seems to be looking back. NASA has marked a date on the calendar that every person watching this video needs to know. December 19th, 2025. This is not just another date. It is the deadline. On this day, 3/1, ATLAS will stop moving closer to the sun and will make its closest approach to Earth before slinging itself back into the dark void of the Milky Way. It will pass within 170 million miles of our planet. Now, that sounds far, but in cosmic terms, it is a stone's throw away. And this proximity has raised a terrifying new theory among astrobiologists called panspermia. The question isn't just what is 3I, Atlas. The question is, what is it dropping? As this object heats up and releases those strange nickel gases we discussed, it is leaving a trail of debris behind it, a wake of dust and particles. NASA's models show that Earth might pass through the tail of this object months or even years from now. If 3I Atlas is truly artificial, or if it carries biological material from another world, then that dust isn't just dust. It could be seeds. It could be viruses. It could be the building blocks of life from a completely alien ecosystem. We know that life on Earth might have started this exact way billions of years ago, delivered by a comet. Are we witnessing a second seeding event? The James Webb Telescope is currently analyzing the spectrum of the dust tail to see if it contains complex organic molecules. If they find carbon chains that match nothing on Earth, then the invasion isn't coming in spaceships. It is coming in the dust that will rain down on our atmosphere long after the object is gone. This December 19th flyby is our only chance to sample that dust, to taste the air of another world, and to see if we are truly safe. The dark forest theory and the final warning as 3I Atlas begins its long journey back into the shadows. We are left with a silence that feels heavier than before. We have to look at the bigger picture, and it is a picture that is becoming increasingly disturbing. For thousands of years, humanity stared at the sky and saw nothing but static stars. It was quiet. It was the great silence, but look at the timeline. In 2017, we found Oumuamua. In 2019, we found Borisov. And now, in 2025, we have 3 Atlas, 3 interstellar visitors in less than a decade. Why the sudden traffic? Why is the universe suddenly so busy? There is a concept in science fiction called the dark forest theory. It suggests that the universe is full of life, but everyone stays quiet because there are predators hunting in the dark. If you scream, you get eaten. For 100 years, we have been screaming, blasting radio waves, television signals, and radar into space. We announced our location to the galaxy, and now the galaxy is sending scouts to check on the noise. Maybe 3I Atlas is just a rock. Maybe the previous two were just rocks. But the frequency is increasing. The anomalies are getting stranger. First, a dead rock, then a comet, and now an active object with a radio signal. It feels like a progression. It feels like a test. NASA will continue to analyze the data for years, but the raw images from those 8 spacecraft have changed us forever. We are no longer the lonely children of the solar system. We are the tribe on the island, watching a ship appear on the horizon, wondering if they come in peace or for conquest. 3-1. Atlas is leaving, but the door it opened cannot be closed. Keep your eyes on the stars, because the next visitor ... might not just fly by ... This is your Space Savants, signing off. If you want to stay updated on the James Webb analysis results next week, subscribe right now. The truth is out there, and we will find it together.